Hi guys, Jordan from P&P Campers. Just going to be doing your handover video on your Geist Touring. So if we look under the bonnet, we've got the leisure battery here on the left hand side, engine battery, sorry, on the left hand side. Good start. Brake fluid attached to the servo down the back there. Power steering fluid is at the front here. Engine oil and your dipstick for the engine oil is just here with the red top. Under this cap here you've got a few bits, but there's just sort of fuses and relays. You don't need to look under there. Your engine coolant, so that's your water. Again, same sort of fuses and relays and bits and pieces under there. And then your water for your washer fluid. So your washer fluid goes in there. To actually open up the fuel filler cap, just push on this side and that'll open up. And that's your ignition key, goes in there to unlock that. And if we carry on, the actual bonnet release is over on the other side, but I'll just show you a few bits here. So we've got your electric window, fan settings, and obviously where you want the fan to go to from there. You can lock these up from just here using the ignition key again. And I'll show you the other few bits around on the driver's side, but we carry on this side now. We've got the hookup lead, so that's where you pop your hookup into the van if you want to use your 240 volt sockets and things like that. Obviously you can do that at home or at a campsite. Freshwater inlet, so push in and round to the left to release that, and then in and round to the right to get it to the lock position, and then just turn it with the key to lock it. Towards the back now we've got the toilet cassette, so I'll show you how to pull that out. Just pull it out with one hand by lifting up this little yellow lever underneath, and then once you've got it out you can push and hold this button when you're emptying it. It's a pressure release valve. So yeah, do that. Your actual flush fluid is the fresh water, so as long as you've got a little bit of water in your fresh tank, you'll be able to sort of flush the toilet. So as long as you've got a little bit of water in there, you'll be fine. All right, so if we carry around now to the driver's side, the off side. So again, we'll just go in the cab quickly and I'll show you a few bits in here. So straight away on the door, we've got the electric adjusting mirrors, electric windows. Your wipers and washer fluid are on the right hand stalk, and your indicators and lights are on the left hand stalk. 5-speed manual gearbox. Reverse is lift up and over up to the left, up to the top. Hazard warning lights in the middle. Fan speed setting, temperature setting, and fan adjustment sort of dial there. Panasonic single DIN head unit there. So yeah, if you want to actually release the bonnet, it's this little lever underneath the steering wheel, and this is your actual steering column adjuster as well. So push it all the way back to lock it in. All right, careful when you're jumping out of these because the handbrake's on this side. It does hurt when you catch yourself, so just bear that in mind. Obviously you've got your habitation door, which you need to make sure that this little lever is down in this position rather than up. Otherwise the door won't actually lock, it won't close, so make sure that's down. But if you want to get in and out of it without catching yourself, you can pop it away like that. That's the kind of the idea behind it. Your fridge vents are these two vents here, and if you've got the fridge lit on gas, which I do at the moment, you can pop your hand over this top right hand vent and you can feel the hot air coming out from there. If I just get underneath, so your what's that? Yeah, that's your waste drain. So pull that lever just there to drain out your waste water. So that's your waste drain there. Sorry for all the sound effects. So this is obviously the storage underneath your bed. So plenty of storage under there. There's a few bits that we left in there just because the previous owner left them in, and they're just useful bits to have lying around. And then all the way at the back here, we've got the 2 6-kilo propane bottles in here. So your pigtail is, where are we, 2021, so that's new. So you've got another 4 years on that one, so you've got 5 years to sort of replace these. Don't worry about any of the sort of bits and pieces on here. This is just for us when we're testing the gas pressure. And to turn these bottles on, it's anti-clockwise around to the left. And if you remember when you're doing that to go all the way on, when you come to turning it off, you'll only be able to turn the thing one way. So you can't get confused as to which way is which. So now I can't turn it any more left, so anti-clockwise. So I know that clockwise around to the right is off. All right, I'm gonna leave that on for now because I've got a few bits on. And then back here behind the bike rack, that there is your boiler vent. So if you had that lit on gas, then you'd be able to feel the hot air coming out from underneath. All right, so if we go inside, should give you a little walk around in here. So similar cupboards all the way around. You just got the push button on the front to open these up. The lights similar. They've just got a little switch on the front there, and you can go around and sort of make it your own. Choose which ones you do and you don't want on. There's two switches just under here, which is one of the switches is for the awning light, which is above the door, and the other one is for that light there. Skylight opens up in two ways, so you can either open it up just by using the handles here, so squeezing in and pushing up, or you can open it up fully by twisting this all the way and just get it go up and up and up. And it is a bit dirty under there, but you can't really do much about that, unfortunately. So when you go to lock these up, if you find that you get it go down to the bottom, that's not locked up enough, you can still move it around. So you need to keep going until you can't turn the actual winder anymore, and then pop it up into the gap there like that. All right, otherwise you'll find it flaps around when you're driving. So the first thing you notice when you come in is your little control panel above the door. The main on and off switch for the 12 volt bits and pieces is up here. So if you press on like that, then you get the 12 volt light coming on at the top. And if I push down, the 12 volt all goes off. So you can leave that when you're in the van, when you're using the van, but obviously switch it off when you're not. The next one, you've got a caravan battery and the engine battery, so you can check the level like that, which is fine because there's no hookup plugged into the van, so that's totally good. And then your water level over here as well, so there's no water in the van, fresh and waste. All right, so that's the reason why I can't really show you the water coming through the tap, because there's no water in the actual system right now. But obviously when Dave did the hab check, everything would have gone through and been, the water would have been pulled through and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, all right, so yeah, so that's what you want to do. So the first thing you want to do when you come into the van, if you are going to use the hot water and things like that, then you want to turn your control panel on, just come to this sink and just pour the water, hot and cold. So we're starting on the cold now, and then we go up to the hot, and just make sure that the water comes through, which means that your boiler would be full. Okay, so until the water comes through a bit stronger than that, the boiler's not full. So once it starts coming through nice and clear, you can then turn that off. And then once you've done that, you can look up here and then start messing around with your boiler, which I'll just run through now. So the top dial there, which says Trumatic EH or CEH, that is the energy selector for the boiler. So if I went up 1 or up 2, that would be electric only. If I left it in the middle, that's gas only. If I went down 1 or 2, that's both gas and electric. All right, so it doesn't matter what you tell the boiler to do. This one up here is just telling the boiler what energy to use. All right, so if I want to leave it on gas, then I can do that just by leaving it in the middle. Now, if I look at this one here, Trumatic C, this is the actual boiler controller. All right, so that's what tells the boiler what to do. So if I went up 1 or up 2, I'd be heating the water inside the boiler up to either 40 or 60 degrees. The dial in the middle, you can just leave that around 5, 6 or 7. And then back to the middle for off. If I wanted heating only in the van, then I go down 1, so just the flame symbol. And if I wanted heating and hot water, then I go all the way down to the bottom to find heating and 60 degrees hot water. Now the reason there's a little yellow light in there is because the water is heating up, and so if I went to just heating only, the yellow light goes out because the water's not trying to warm up. And then obviously if I turn it off, the boiler turns off. All right, so if I wanted to heat the water up on electric only, so that's when your hookup's plugged in, I'd go up to the top and then I'd choose hot water. All right, and then that would be using the electric hookup to heat the water up to 60 degrees. If I wanted to heat the water up via the gas only, I would leave this one where it is on the gas symbol, and I would choose 60 degrees hot water. All right, so you can really go through and make it your own, and you know, decide what sort of energy you'd like to use, or what energy you've got access to. But that's how it works. All right, I know it can be a bit much to sort of get your head around, but once you got used to it, they are so easy to use. Okay, so you've got a 3-burner hob here. All 3 of these burners have got a little thermocouple on them, which is the little bit of metal that sticks up at the back. And what that means is that when any of these 3 are lit up, the thermocouple would notice that there's burnt gas coming through, so that's how it should be. And if somehow you or something or the wind blew the flame out, the thermocouple would notice and it would stop the gas coming through to that specific burner. All right, every gas appliance in this van has got a thermocouple, including the oven, the grill, the fridge, you know, everything. So they've all been checked and they make a noise when they've sort of done their job. You got your oven and grill here, which you have got an igniter for. There's no ignition up the top there, so you will need a clicker for that. But if you want to use the grill or the oven, push in and you get the igniter working like that separately. You've got a little light there inside by this button. But yeah, so literally just push in and round to the right for the grill, push in and round to the left for the oven. All right, so if I close that down, you've got a 3-way fridge in this particular van. So it's a Dometic 3-way fridge, nice and reliable little fridge. We don't tend to get many problems with them, and if we do, they're very easy to sort out, so that's all good. So it's lit on gas at the moment. As you can see, it's on the gas symbol or the gas line there, and the orange or amber light is staying steady on gas. So that means 1, if the amber light is steady and not flashing, that means it's lit, and 2, you can go around on the outside and put your hand over that vent that I showed you and double check that anyway. So gas and 240 here are the 2 ways to get the fridge cold on its own. 12 volt won't get the fridge cold on its own. That's only for when your engine's running and when you're driving where you're going, basically, because the 12 volt isn't strong enough to get it cold on its own. So if you get it cold first on the gas or the 240, perhaps the night before going away, and then just switch it down to the 12 volt symbol for when your engine's running. So if I just show you how easy it is to light it up on gas, and the only thing you need to remember is that if it's really hot outside, you can sometimes need to turn this little dial round to the 0 and then turn it up for when you for once it's lit, but really you can just leave it at maximum. So if I just show you how easy it is to light this up on gas, just turn it to the right. I heard the igniter lit start sparking, and then it lit straight up. All right, so I can guarantee you now that that is definitely lit. If the igniter carries on and carries on and carries on, obviously you just check that your gas is on first. But if that happens, just turn it on, off, and back on again, and then try that thing that I said, turning it down, try it again, and then turn it back up when it's lit. So if you had a hookup plugged in, you go down to the next one, and it'd normally shine up a little green light inside there. And then, like I said, either the gas or the 240 first the night before, and then 12 volt for when you're going away. All right, so that's relatively straightforward. You've got a little lock on this as well, so if you push this over to the right, that is now locked up. So that's for when you're driving, basically. You can turn it like that. Microwave over the top, that'll only work when your hookup's plugged into the van, but obviously it's been checked as part of the hab check. Let's just have a look under here. So on the left hand side here, we've got your 3 gas isolators. So if you had a problem with any of your individual appliances, you can isolate them from the gas from there. So you've got your fridge on the left hand side, boiler in the middle, and your cooker on the right. So yeah, you know, if you wanted to isolate anything from the gas whilst you're away, you can do so like that. Right, your boiler sits down here under the bed there, and you've got a little drain under there. You've got 2 of them actually. So if you lifted those 2 upright, so they're vertical rather than horizontal, that would then drain the boiler's water out onto the floor. And that's clean water, by the way, so you don't need to be over a waste tap for that or anything. Right, again, more spares in here, all kinds of bits and pieces. your status TV aerial booster is up here, and you can turn that off. That button there, which is that one on the right hand side. Yeah, that's all your paperwork as well in that brown box, by the way. So in the bathroom, exactly the same style tap just there. So literally just pull it like that, take your plug out first, but literally just pull it like that. And like I said, there's not enough water in the van right now, so it won't get to any pressure, but that's how you do that. And if you haven't used the van for a little while, it can be worth coming in here and just pulling all of the taps, including the shower and the toilet, actually, because it's on the same freshwater system, just to get rid of any air pockets that might be about. To flush the toilet, you literally push this button here, and that pump water around into the actual toilet itself. And then to drain it out, it's this button over this little lever. If you find one day that you can't pull the cassette out from outside, you need to come in here and close the flap, because you'll find that you've left it open in that position. So just close it up and then go outside and try it again. Right, the shower, again, exactly the same tap. So, you know, I don't really need to show you that again, but it's the, you know, pretty standard, nice little shower head there, and actually a pretty decent sized shower, so you can really stand up in that. And yeah, so this little skylight up here, you got this little lever that comes out, and that'll wind around to open up, and then to close it back down again, just round and round and round until you can't go anymore, and then pop it up into the gap. The light switches are in here as well, are just there. All right then, so one thing to point out with your window stays, not obviously this one because this is just a sliding sort of window, but with the window stays that you've got around the van with the sort of latch style stays, one thing to point out is if you park really close to a wall or another car or motorhome, whatever, and you open that up right up against it, sometimes you can find that because you have to open it up a little bit extra to allow it to come back in on itself, sometimes you'll find that you can't do that. All right, so just make sure you're not really close up against something, otherwise you might find that you have to, I mean, it's not the end of the world if that does happen, because you've just got these two screws up here to take them off with, but you know, just make sure you're not too close to anything when you are opening these windows up. All of these latch style windows are the same, they're about half and half, you know, the ones that do and don't have them. So yeah, perfectly reliable stays, but they're just sometimes, if you park too close to something, you know, you end up having to take the stay off and you know, like that. But anyway, yeah, so not sure what else there is I can show you. Just have a little look. All right, cool. All right, I think I've shown you everything I can show you. If you think I've missed anything out, then obviously let us know, and you know, we'll answer any questions you've got. But otherwise, we look forward to seeing you soon to collect your van. Thanks very much.